Do you know what chronic fatigue syndrome is?
I've heard of it, so I vaguely know what it is, but not really.
I do not. I don't know the symptoms of it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what its symptoms are?
It is where you are tired, exhausted more like.
When you're really tired all the time and you can't, it's really difficult for you to do things.
I mean, I'd guess from fatigue, I'd guess to do with tiredness. But
Did you know that you can also get faster irregular heartbeats, muscle or joint pains, headaches, sore throats and glands? The one that baffles me the most is problems thinking, like remembering or certain things or concentrating, which explains why my brother doesn't know when Christmas is.
wow.
Yeah, just a bit, yeah. Feeling dizzy or sick, and obviously, as we all know, most prominently, sleep problems. It isn't easy to diagnose either, since these symptoms are common in other illnesses and conditions. In this documentary, I will give you an insight into life with the dreaded illness from the perspective of my brother Luke Dunham, as well as an insight into how the media has reported on the disease over the years. How many people, on average, do you think are affected by it in the UK, in numbers?
In numbers. Obviously, it's not talked about enough at all. So, saying like the tens of thousands, 20,000, 30,000.
I'm guessing quite a large amount.
1,000.
Probably somewhere between 100,000 to 300,000.
30,000 maybe.
1,000?
Yeah.
I can tell you that there are 250,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot.
on average. It's quite a lot. It's a big number. I can tell you it's 250,000 people.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Way more.
Jeez. That's... To say I'm not really familiar with what it is. It's quite a lot.
Chronic fatigue syndrome is a problem that has persisted for too long. The illness can leave a person bedbound and therefore keep them from seeing the light of day for large amounts of time. It's degrading to sufferers, and it certainly doesn't help when next to nobody is aware of what is happening to them. The media are only just starting to talk about it, with the help of filmmaker Jennifer Breyer leading the charge.
It's definitely not enough in the news at the moment.
No.
Definitely not. It needs bringing to the forefront, definitely.
It's frustrating. I find it really frustrating because obviously it's only just happened to our family. It's only just happening to Luke now, but there's obviously lots of people that have been affected by it for lots of years, and there's not really been enough research done into it, which is quite frustrating.
There are those, however, who have over the years been trying to prove that it simply doesn't exist as a chronic illness, and some have claimed that ME/CFS is purely a mental one. These articles were written years ago, and I feel that the views towards the idea of ME/CFS being a farce are outdated by several years, after many discoveries have been made to support ME/CFS as being a serious physical condition rather than a mental one recently.
Well, that's why there's not putting enough money into looking at it, because they don't really sort of believe in it, do they, as well?
It breaks my heart if you've actually have to live with this illness and your son is suffering with this illness, to hear people make flippant remarks that don't understand or know enough about it, it makes me really angry.
The ME Action Network are one of the leading organisations for ME/CFS research and how the news on ME/CFS and events in the community are distributed. Networks like these are massively important in how ME/CFS research can receive more funding from the governments of the world, which is sorely needed.
All around the world, ME is one of the least funded diseases. So in the US, we spend each year roughly $2,500 per AIDS patient, $250 per MS patient, and just $5 per year per ME patient.
No, but what I'm saying is America should pay more, because America's a massive, massive country.
Yeah.
So they've got even the facilities to do it and the money. They could put a lot of money into it and possibly find a cure.
It doesn't help when the very people who are meant to be helping you don't know what is going on either.
If you're a woman, you're told that you're exaggerating your symptoms. But if you're a guy, you're told to be strong, to buck up. And men may even have a more difficult time getting diagnosed.
And she's right. Luke was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, and the school he goes to was told about it. The school offered their help, but later on Luke, me and my dad saw an ME/CFS professional who, after seeing us, wrote back to Luke's school saying that she wasn't sure whether or not he actually had ME/CFS. Obviously we want to know the changes in his condition, why wouldn't we? But surely when one person says he does have ME/CFS and another says that he doesn't, then there's going to be a lack of reliability with these professionals and the state of his condition becomes muddied, especially with the different interpretations of the illness, like different words of it being called chronic fatigue syndrome, or myalgic encephalomyelitis. There are too many, and we just don't know which one it is.
Yeah, but we've been told by the doctors that Luke could possibly, because he's young and got at a young age, that he could grow out of it, which we are keeping our fingers crossed that he does.
How did it feel to get that letter?
It was like a slap in the face, really, because once Luke got his diagnosis of chronic fatigue syndrome, he actually started to feel... because he knew what it was. We knew it wasn't anything that was terminal or anything like that, and it was something that we had to work together with to help him improve.
Well, yeah, because I mean that lady at the hospital said about that lad who had it, and then she saw him on a rugby field playing rugby. It's amazing that lad came from what Luke's got, isn't it? And to play rugby.
And then just hearing a doctor saying that they weren't sure whether it was that, it really it upset him. It upset me, and it made me feel that we were going back to the very beginning again.
And this isn't just exclusive to us. In an interview about unrest on Today, an American morning TV show, a medical professional said this.
I didn't even really have an understanding of what ME/CFS really was until I was sort of forced into not just this week, but just in my practice to really understand what it is. So I think if I, as a medical professional who sees patients with elusive diseases sometimes, fibromyalgia and lupus and things like that, that even I wasn't fully aware.
How do you think Luke is doing academically or at school?
He's really, really struggling. He's probably been out of school for about 2 years now. Really crucial years 10 and 11. Academically, he's really suffering, and there's not a great deal we can do.
Luckily for us though, Luke got some education from personal tutors who came to our house on Tuesdays and Fridays, as well as regular weekly sessions at the Rubicon Centre, where he received short lessons with other people. Things seemed to be looking up for Luke and our family, and we finally thought we had a win. But then, he got hit by a bug in November 2017.
Having flu has knocked him for 6 really, and every time he picks up a bug, it knocks him back again.
We all had flu, and we were bad, but we've bounced back. It took about a month, but Luke, it's taking a lot longer.
He's now back to the point where he struggles, to wake up in the morning, and he's got just no energy at all. It's bad.
An example of how his progress had been knocked back is how from the 7th of December we went out for a meal for my birthday. The next day we did nothing, literally just chilled out at home. The next day we went out to play some virtual reality games for my birthday, which was a nice treat, and I'm glad that Luke came along with us. He had a great time. The next day we were at home and we were playing board games, and then during playing it, he just passed out from exhaustion. At the time of writing this, he's asleep, and he probably won't be out of bed until the afternoon. Do you have hope for Luke's future? Obviously he wants to become a plumber. Do you think that's a viable thing that could happen, or?
Yeah, I hope so. We've got to take each day as it comes. We've got to hope, and we've always got to have an aim for Luke, and Luke really wants to be a plumber. He really wants to go to college next year. Whether that's going to be achievable, I don't know, but we've got to try and aim for it to be achievable, because if he doesn't have any aims and goals, then he's got nothing to get up for in the morning. So yeah, I hope so. I don't know, but I hope so. The thing is as well, people could take their own lives because of this illness, don't they? They get so down with it that they take their own lives. And,
they get depressed, don't they? Yeah. I mean, I'm not being. Luke's lucky. He's got his family, which are all behind him, and he's got. I think Millie's done a great thing for him. Really, I think if we hadn't had Millie, it'd been a different story.
But there is hope. In early 2017, researchers from Norway announced that there will soon be a breakthrough in ME-CFS research. They claimed that a main reason for ME could be in having trouble with converting glucose sugar into energy in the blood. Whereas most of us do this with no problems, this could be a major reason for why ME-CFS sufferers become extremely tired after performing small mundane tasks, unlike a lot of us. They also claim that they are testing a drug that is usually used in cancer patients, and it will take about 2 to 3 years to know if the drug is actually working or not. There's also research being done in countries like America and Japan.
In Germany, scientists are starting to find evidence of autoimmunity, and in Japan, of brain inflammation. In the US, scientists at Stanford are finding abnormalities in energy metabolism that are 16 standard deviations away from normal.
How does this news make you feel?
Yeah, it's good. It's really positive. We just need to, keep raising awareness, and the more people that are aware of it, more resources may go into the research and that. So yeah, it's good.
But for ME-CFS sufferers, this research won't come soon enough. With some reportedly having been bedbound for over a decade, the media hasn't even noticed these sufferers for so long, and it begs the question, how did this happen? Especially when 250,000 people are affected by this horrendous illness in the UK alone, and millions of others worldwide. How is it that people could say that these people were lying and living their life this way for some kind of eventual gain? And how is it that this illness has caused millions to be missing from our society for decades? There are no right answers to these questions, but we can take action. 1,000?
Yeah.
I can tell you that there are 250,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot.
We can only do this if more people are aware of the amount of people suffering, and if more people like Jennifer Breyer and the amazing volunteers running the ME Action Network lead the charge for the people who cannot. Why do you think it is time to notice ME?
I think there are a lot of sufferers out there, and I think it's been given bad press over the years, and it hasn't been given the the recognition that it needs, really, to make people aware of it.
It is the time for action. It is the time for education. And it is time to notice ME. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching my documentary on ME-CFS. It really means the world to me. If you want to know more about ME-CFS, in the description there are links to the documentary Unrest, which is made by Jennifer Breyer, who you saw in the documentary, which really inspired me to make mine. That's on Netflix UK, and then also there's going to be a screening of it at Sobel Globe Cinema on the 23rd of May. So if you want to attend that, you can. Also in the description there are links to donation pages. If you can't afford to donate, that's completely fine as well. Just make sure to share this video and the links in the description. Again, thank you so much for watching my documentary. It was an emotional rollercoaster to create, believe me, but I hope that it will help the public in noticing